that's that. I'm not on anything. So we came Thursday to buy a package, to buy a thing and send the package. And so this was all flat and glued and all that. I taped it to the dish. And we were trying to do it in the back, trying to figure out how to do it so we could have package in there and all that. And we couldn't figure it out. So we get to the lady, and I have it up there and ask her, how do you open it? Oh no, blah, blah, you know. And I told her, you know, she was referring that it doesn't go into a box. And I told her, it does. See, it says extend, and I was trying to squeeze it, and I squeezed it, and one side popped open or something. Somewhere it popped open. And I was like, how do you make it into a box? And she has hearing problems. I have limp on this side, and my face can do whatever. So it's impossible to understand me. So I asked, so I had these things on the cabinet to buy, and I had my purchase in there next to me, and she rang that up to ring up the tape, and then she reached over and she grabbed my hands, and I pulled it away. My daughter saw it. She said she grabbed for it twice.
Yes.
And then she kept saying, we don't touch boxes. We don't touch boxes. Well, I'm buying it here. Tell me how to assemble it. My daughter was even telling her, tell me how, and I'll do it.
Yes.
And so I told her, just give me someone else. I'm going to talk to someone else. And I had to tell her a couple times. And I think I told her after she grabbed from me, because that was very inappropriate. And she wasn't, there was no communication there. So I asked for someone else. She goes, and she's talking to that person in the back. Then that lady comes up. And she's like, we don't touch boxes, ma'am. Ma'am, we don't touch the boxes. I'm like, how do you do this? And they're being ridiculous. So I got my phone out and started recording. Now, this was in a public area. I'm allowed to do it. I have it right here on my phone. Is that agreed upon? Okay, just making sure. Because the guy at the police station was telling me, you can't do that. Well, and so I just says like, please make sure they do the research before they come on, because I don't need the stress of all that drama. And she was telling me it's illegal to record post office people when I was recording. And I was like, it's on poster 7. I want to talk to your post person. And at that time the more stress I get, the worse all this gets. And so I told her, look, I'm sorry, I wrote on this, and I said, I will pay for this. I don't want the tape. And she rung it up, and I paid for it, and she included the tape. And I was like, I don't want the tape. I just like kept pushing it on the counter. I didn't want it. And I grabbed my box to leave, but she's like, I didn't hear you. So I did this. Well, first, if we're not speaking the same language, I need someone that we can communicate. And, you know, it has, you know, nothing to do with her hearing problem. It has nothing to do with this. But if we can't communicate, we need to be able to communicate. And they were harassing me from doing my business here. So I had to go somewhere else to do my business. She also handed me this, you know, and she's like, this is for envelopes only. And when it was, you know, she made a comment about me opening it. When it was all together, you could use it. You know, well, they weren't telling me how, you know, and I couldn't with it being closed. Maybe you have to open the top and then squeeze it. But it was absolutely ridiculous. And then also with that going on, those two were at it. The guy next to them, the cashier guy, so I have to teach him now. The guy next to them made a comment that we can't record in the foyer in that area. You know, and so there were more harassment of me being there. Do you want to see the recording what I have? And I can send that, there's two of them. There's only the one with her not knowing what kind of box that is. But when I started recording and I just, started recording, then she started freaking out about the recording and she wouldn't say anything more about the box. Give me a second. And I also want a FOIA. The recording on that. So there's two of them. I think this one's the first one. Let me try that again. So I think this one's the first one. You can do what you need to. Thank you. There's more. The guy say on next two, it was a big phone saying no recording. And that
say whatever.
well, it adds to the harassment of I had to go somewhere else. Here where I have a right to, and she has no right to touch me.
So you said she grabbed one twice at your hand.
So I had my products in bubble wrap in my hands like this. So she came close to my boobs because the counter is boob height, and she came close to my and tried to grab it out. I pulled it away.
She didn't say like let me see that or anything. She just went and grabbed it.
She pointed. She wouldn't grab. Even if she said something, she has no business grabbing something in my hands. Especially this region. Any region of Asia.
You said your product, was that product that you bought from them, or was it the item that you're talking about?
That one.
And then you want us to make a report on this incident?
But if needed to get FOIA and go more.
I think nothing criminal happened.
And so he's battery. Grabbing my hand. And they harassed me. And I had to go somewhere else. Yes.
I'll talk to them and see what happened, and then I'll make a report on it.
And with them saying it's illegal for me to record them and all that, they're making it uncomfortable for me to be there.
This happened last Wednesday?
Thursday.
Last Wednesday at what time?
To see, I tried calling the post office. I tried calling the post office complaint, and there's multiple numbers to call.
but it happened around 15:22 in the afternoon.
Thank you for having knowledge on the recording inside.
I mean, reporting, I'm not too familiar with the freedom of press, but this is a federal building. It's open to the public, so that's like basically me saying, like, I'm at the front desk at the station and recording. I'm going to be recording you.
Yeah, it's on poster 7.
Suspended battery, right? So that's what I don't
And right there is under poster 7 if you're interested.
What's Mr. 7 program?
They have to post it in the post offices.
Like say, hey, you
Giving
can't record
rules
it here.
and regulations.
It's a good phone number.
505-259-5193.
Okay, I'm gonna send you. What's your first name?
Alicia, Alicia.
Last name.
B as in boy, Lea.
E-L.
Yes.
Different.
Oh, I'm reaching in the back seat.
For news purposes, watches areas, corridors or auditoriums used for public meetings except for when prohibited by official signs and security enforcement personnel or other tickets.
And the Constitution overrides all of it, if they even have it. But that overrides what they have written because it's a public area. That's mine. And we're putting it on the, well, as long as there's no court holding it up, it'll go on the internet. That's now news.
We're prohibited by signs or security enforcement personnel or our
My card is what's on the back, and I sent you the link to your phone. It'll send you those videos.
I'll just look at it.
Yes, the link's there, so whenever you got time, send it.
Okay. On the text, it's give problems. Email, I think it'd be better.
If that doesn't work, then you can email my email on the front of the card. And I just put the case number in the subject.
All right, thank you. I'm just getting sick and tired of people treating me this way everywhere I go. So stuff needs to happen about it. And that's the poster if you need it.
Yeah, so he took a picture of, is this posted up in there?
It should be. It's supposed to be.
Okay. So he did take a picture of the photograph and use advertising portion of it. And we're going to go talk to them. And we're also going to look around too to see if there's like any signs prohibiting photography or anything.
Even if it says, if it's a public area, even if it says not in this area, if people are in there, it still goes to this. You know, they can make whatever they want up. Doesn't make it legal. You know? Just put that back where it goes. Do I stay here?
Once he like verifies that you have your information in our call notes and everything, you can be free to go. And if you have your phone number, if he has any follow-up, he can just call you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I know I brought this up, but I want to get a FOIA of the recording.
A copy of that?
Uh-huh.
So you would have to request that through them.
Okay.
And we can't give you that.
Okay. So since they've already had it found, I wouldn't have to pay extra except for
That I don't know. That is I
So-
just know for us to like, if you want to copy the barbecue today, you I can't force it.
Right. Just gonna see if I can do that with you guys here, because I don't want to pretend you want all that bullshit. So, you mind if I go do the FOIA request while you are here?
It's up to you. As long as you don't cause like an incident during our investigation, like saying like, oh, they did this, and then you allow us to conduct our business, because we do have to go talk to them, and it's honestly up to them if they're going to allow us to see the surveillance. So,
Well, when I FOIA it, they don't have a choice about it.
they have their own policies and procedures. I don't know how that works with them, so I can't tell you yes or no. It's their policies.
I'll have to go home and get a paper and do that. It's up to them if they're going to do it. It's not. Do I sound like a crazy person?
No. You sound like someone trying to get the brain to work.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Were you able to get that? I didn't get their names. I got the one guy's name. They knew their stuff. That was my fear, is, that they'd be like, oh, you're arrested and you're trespassed and
Yeah. I'm gonna apologize to the people who's watching.
now do a thing, let them know what's going on. We were afraid of getting arrested and we didn't want it to be stolen. Be a reporter. This is what you just saw. How many people you have watching?
So right now, too. First, it was at 6.
Okay, give them a rundown what all happened.
Okay. Hey guys. So, actually, my mom.
Turn around and do it. You can do it. Show your face and do it.
I don't remember what to I don't know what to say.
Okay. All right, here. Hello all. So we went to the post office on Thursday, July 10th, and we put stuff up on the counter to buy stuff. And the lady behind the desk reached over to grab my personal product out of my hands. And she tried doing that twice. I jerked away when she came in contact with me. And then we had bought a box that you like pinch. It's flat and you pinch it somehow to make it into a box. And we couldn't figure out how to open it to make it into a box. So we were asking them, and they refused to help us. They said, we don't touch boxes. And so we asked the gal that was helping us to get somebody else to help us. And I had to ask several times for her to do this. And so she went and got someone, and that person was said, we don't touch boxes. And my daughter was saying, hey, tell me how to do it and I will do it. How do you do it? And all they could say is, we don't do this. And so I started recording on my phone. Later I have to edit some stuff out, like addresses that are on packages. We'll post this, what was said. So I started recording because it was so ridiculous. And the second lady that came out, who are you recording? I'm like, you, because you guys are being ridiculous. And she's like, I'm a federal employee. You're not allowed to record me. I'm like, yeah, I am. Look at poster 7. And I was, I have a meningioma, and I said it wrong. It's like a brain tumor, but it's on the outside of the brain. And so it affects talking. It affects all sorts of fun stuff. And, so, and word finding and slurring and all that. And, so they were being absolutely rude. And I was like, you're being ridiculous, and I'm recording this. And the guy next to him that was cashiering, you're not allowed to record in this area. I'm like, yeah, I am. And I asked to talk to the postmaster because it was so ridiculous, and then I was just so stressed that we left. And I've tried making reports with the post office, and I can't talk to a person. So now we're making a police report about them touching us and hopefully harassment, because they harassed us from sending our package because they wouldn't show us how to use their item, and they also rang us up for other things that I told them not to, just our one item. But that's what's going on. We were scared. At least the police officers know their stuff. And kudos to Rio Rancho Police for knowing that. We went down to the office, the police office. What is that called? Police station.
Yeah.
In Rio Rancho, trying to make a report there. And the officer behind the desk had no clue about recording on federal property. So he needs to learn something. That just shows that not everybody knows about recording in public areas and all that. It's so important these days to know about these things. It's our constitutional right. We don't want to lose that. But thank you for viewing. Be strong, everybody. Do what you can so we don't lose our rights. Thank you.
Should I keep recording?
Yes, do you have anything else to say about that?
Not
You want to see what the officers say when they come back?
kind of.
See if we get trespassed?
Do you guys want to see what?
See if we get trespassed?
Yeah.
Or they try to? And see if they're saying that we're rude conduct. Or here's one. See if they're trying saying I'm drunk because I'm slurring. What do people say about that?
Someone's just saying, I hope your day gets better.
Let me see. It's going forward. So with the meningioma and the slurring, I get from a lot of people that they think I'm drunk, and so they'll treat me horrible. And along with that is it keeps my face from going normal. But thank you for reaching out, saying the day gets better. I'm sorry for drawing this out. I just want to see what the police officers have to say when they come out.
Yeah.
Do you pause it?
No.
Start reading out what people write.
Okay.
Have it going and do it to yourself so you can get used to it. You're reporting. You can do it. You gotta start somewhere.
Okay. There is.
So these are some of the posts. Thank you. Respond to them. Okay?
Okay.
Show your face.
Someone says nowadays there's a lot of hateful people, and there is.
They're so right. And hopefully we can turn it all around.
Yeah.
We'll call this Jeep News. What else is said on
that's all for right now.
Ask questions.
What should I ask?
What's involved with this? What kind of experiences have other people have they experienced or witnessed? You know, with the post office or police regarding our freedoms.
Okay, someone says, sometimes I get stared at and looked at weird.
Yeah, it's hard. For me, I was attacked by a dog when I was 2. And I don't know if it'll show. Right here's the scar from it. And so I've always been conscious of that. And I'd always grow my hair long because I was always scared. And, you know, I try to hide it. And it wasn't until I got older and I was able to embrace it. You know, okay, well, it's perceptive how you perceive things. So they're staring at you because they're jealous and they're interested in you. You know?
But it's not right for people to judge people just on how they act.
That's true. That's very true. You know, we will go camping with our cat, Edmund's cat, and
His name is Gosper.
his name is Gosper. Sweetest thing. He'll go on a leash. And we had a homeless man asking for some change. And he was like, keep your dog back. I'm scared of dogs. And maybe it was his vision. Maybe it was a mental thing. But having this brain thing going on, it gives me a whole new perspective on people. They could be thinking a different way because they have no control over it. It's not that they're being mean. It's not that they're crazy.
Or on drugs.
Or on drugs. And if they are, you know, what's a sad thing that happened that caused that to happen?
Yes.
So, peace. That's what it all falls down to, is peace.
Okay. No, it is right to judge self-entitled people.
Very true.
Yes. Oh my god. Mom,
Yes.
tell them about that one time.
Aren't those called parents?
Karen slash Kevin's.
Yes.
True facts right there. Yep. So, there was this one time that my mom and
You guys, I don't know which one we're talking about right now.
where we got the
Albertsons.
Albertsons.
Yes. Oh, that was horrible.
So, my mom and I got all our stuff, and we head to the cash out area. And since our brains don't work, we went to the help checkout.
Where a person helps you instead of self-checkout. I have, because of my brain problem, I'm afraid I'll leave the store without paying, or I'll forget to check something out, so I go to person.
And so we got cans of soda. Well, box of canned soda. My mom was picking it up and put it on the conveyor belt. This one lady said, "Oh, I'm not gonna hurt you."
Yeah, she's not going to hurt herself by picking up, it's like the 12 can of soda. And she told me to pick the cans back off the conveyor belt and put in my basket. And I was like, no, they're already up there. You know, you could have told me that before I did that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Just to even say that. And, you know, for me, it's hard to do things. And just even picking something up and putting it down, you have to think it all out before you can do it. And so she was sitting there telling me that I had to pick them up and put them on. I'm like, nope, they're already up there. And she kept repeating herself. And so I went to grab it to put it back in the basket, and she started moving the conveyor belt. And I'm like, I'm not going to move up there and grab it while she's moving it. But go ahead, Edmund. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. It's your story as well.
Yeah.
And you remember most
Well,
of the parts.
it affects you as well. You know,
Yeah.
seeing that. But you're going through. Yeah.
So, my mom and I went to the manager spot, customer service, and we reported it.
So, yeah. And I had a run in with that lady during mask time. Just ridiculous stuff. You know, I feel sorry for her that she's in that place, that she has to be so rude.
Okay, we got one. Actually, two. Put him in your chat, and the other one says, I feel sorry for you guys. He's having to go through this problem. It's alright.
Yeah, we're getting there. Can I talk about your milk clinic? Yeah, Edwin's going to the Arizona Milk Clinic, and so I'm hoping they get it figured out. So the longest time, the doctors called this chronic migraine, and
Sorry for interrupting.
yeah,
Someone is asking what is going on. So, this is for safety. Just in case something happens, and then started telling stories of like for cops to come back in case they say we're arrested.
So what originally happened was we had an incident at the post office where a lady tried grabbing something out. The worker went to grab my personal item, out of my hand twice, and then they were terribly rude to us. So I started recording. They started pulling the. It's illegal for you to record federal employees, and then they were saying we couldn't record in a certain area. So guess who's I'm going to be asking auditors to go to? Rio Rancho Post Office on Pine Tree Street. They believe you cannot record in their foyer. So calling out to people that do the constitutional audits. And you know, when we get what videos we have, we'll post it. When you know, it was Battery that she grabbed things, and it was real close to my boob area where she grabbed it, because I had my stuff next to me over the counter. And you don't touch people. And even if she were to say something, and I was just looking at her because I couldn't understand her, she has no right to grab something from my hands. I had the products we were buying on the counter. So we're making a report today because that was very stressful when this happened. So our report is today. Yeah, that's just heads up what happened.
So, thankfully, they do not leave the booze, but they touch an item that belonged to us. I'm sorry, I moved it from the camera. And it was too close to the no-no zone.
Yeah, well, and you don't grab things out of people's hands. Period.
Yes. And I have Googled that. And it's both Battery and Leguancy. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Yeah.
And when I asked to talk to someone else, I had to ask multiple times. And then when she got someone, I don't even think it was a supervisor. But yeah, it was just ridiculous. It's kind of comical now. But for one, they don't know that you can record in public areas and what you see in a public area. So, you know, we can't let our constitutional rights slip.
Yeah.
I'll be getting the FOIA request. I'm going to go home, make it up, and I'll bring it back later. I think we'll record as we do that. So we can find out what happens. You know, it makes it hard when I start to slip for people to take me serious and I can't get out the words I want. And but you know, there's also a you don't have to say anything. So I'll just come in, do my thing, and record it.
Wait, is it?
So there's a First Amendment, and we'll have to pull it up. There's one, you know, where you don't have to say anything. There's the where you can record to the public. They cannot tell you to turn off your recording. So at least you didn't say turn it off. You know? Yeah. During COVID time, I had an officer attack my car because they closed down the road and she was turning people around. And so I stopped my car. I don't know if mass, I think mass just started during that time, so I rolled down my back window and I gave some distance because she wasn't wearing a mask. And I was asking her if the road opened up further down, because I just hit the road and go down. Because as soon as you see a closure in the road, cops are closing it down, you know, roadblock, I'm panicking. I want to get home to my daughter. You know, Edwin's old enough to be home alone. And the female cop hits the top of my car, screams, calls me a son of a you-know-what. And, well, I did what you don't do to cops. I hit the gas and I got the hell out of there. She was crazy. And so I went down the road and I called the dispatch and I was like, hey, this just happened. I ran and I don't know what to do. So I made a formal complaint. I told him I wanted a copy of the report of the video cam because it was on video cam. And the sergeant told me it was under investigation. I could not have that. I didn't know about the FOIA. I didn't know everything I could. I tried Googling, I tried calling lawyers, but everything was shut down because of the COVID. And they had, at that time, you only had 3 months to report what was going on and to get the evidence. And I tried the lawyers I could call. They're like, you need to get the video. I'm like, I don't know how to. Well, it turns out you go to the city to request the video. And at that time, things were confusing here and there, and I didn't know about the brain thing. And yeah, you know, I was just going, I knew what was going on, the confusion. And so I was trying to do it, and the people at the city weren't helping me. And I know it was from when the road was closed. And the officers and the sergeants and the lieutenants, they're like, oh, well, it was this traumatic thing that happened that set her off. And I said, I have my own nightmares. I don't want to know about what happened. And they tell me a little bit at a time, but it turns out a sibling stabbed a toddler in the stomach. Now that nightmare is going to float around in my head. You know, I feel sorry for what happened, but I don't work as a cop. I don't work as an ambulance because I can't handle those nightmares. And obviously the cop that attacked me doesn't know about the nightmares. And so I told the sergeant that I wanted to press charges because her hitting my car, hitting both hands on the top of my car, is an extension of me. And he said, and I was too afraid to go down to the station, you know, for what? I was just attacked by an officer. And I was too afraid to go down to the station. And he went write a complaint over the phone. The lieutenant that did the complaint, he was making a big deal that as I was turning around, I turned into the right-hand lane, the turning lane, which the whole road was closed. So what does it matter that I'm turning into the one lane? They were covering for her. And then I had her behind me a couple months after that, in her cop car, entering in my information on her computer while she was driving. And so I pulled into the Walmart parking lot trying to lose her because she was on my butt. And she followed me in there. I didn't say anything on that, but she was still studying her computer as she was on my butt. And I'm like, gosh, she's getting my personal information, you know? And then a couple months after that, I was at the Starbucks. Anybody writing anything as I'm saying this stuff? Then I went to the Starbucks to get some Starbucks. That cop was behind me, and she's hollering out her door, out her window, at me. Oh, I'll buy your coffee. And I, you know, with curse words, I was telling her, I don't want your coffee. It doesn't make up for what you did. And, you know, I was screaming at her from my car to her car, you're not buying my coffee, you know, and if you're in the wrong, you know. And it scared the hell. I was trapped. There were cars in front of me. I already made my order, so I had to purchase my order to get out of there. And here she is behind me. And so when I got home, I called her sergeant up, and made a complaint. And he tells me, oh, well, we'll deal with this internally. So in 23, it looks like she no longer works there. But, you know, I was absolutely frightened of cops for a couple of years after that happened. And I would be in tears and go into panic attacks when I think about it. And when I was driving that car around, I constantly had cops behind me. So, yeah, there's a question there. Did she leave a bruise? Oh, that's an old one. Sorry, guys. And so I'm fed up with these, you know, people of authority taking advantage of what they do. So, yeah. So that's why we're making a report today.
Yes.
Oh, I can smile now. Earlier it was down and I could not. So that's cool. See, it'll come and go. And I'll also make it where I'll wink. And I don't mean to, so people think I'm flirting with them. Oh, okay. I almost made a female reference, but I won't. I'm old, so I don't have that new stuff down. I won't bring it up, but you know what people need to be individuals for their peace. Yeah. But I'm not afraid of cops these days. I could talk to these officers, and luckily these guys were decent.
Yes.
Kudos to them, and they knew their stuff. I thought I was going to be arrested. We'll find out if I'm trespassed, or they try to trespass me, which they can't do. On public property, they can't trespass you unless you're doing something illegal. So, and they're in there for quite a while. So, we'll see what happens. I'm sure they're trying to say that I was being disorderly. But, you know, those ladies sitting there screaming, "We don't touch boxes!" They're the ones being disorderly. Go ahead.
Show the box.
No, don't show the address.
I won't show the address.
Okay. So here's the box. How was it? It was
I can do it.
like this. And on the sides, let me cover the addresses. On the sides it says push here. Okay, well there's what it says. That says extendable photo document mailer.
Okay.
And on the side over here, in white and arrows, it says push to expand.
Yep.
And the lady that was checking us out didn't understand that it extended to a box, you know? I just wanted something hard so that my product I was sending had less chances of getting squished. So, yes. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous now, but these little things shouldn't happen. And unions shouldn't be covering for workers for ridiculous behaviors like this.
Definitely, yeah.
Ask questions. Anybody have a bad experience at the post office? Any Karens lately?
Any heavens?
Kevin's? What would an it name be for that?
Entitled person?
Wham-whams?
So right now,
Okay,
no one's
here's the
watching.
officers. Let's see what the... Hello.
Alright, so we did speak with them, and we can't even talk to the clerk at all, so we have to fill out some paperwork just to get their statement and all that through NPS.
Okay.
And we're going to do that right away, so hopefully in a day or two they'll agree to it. And then for about the victim footage, we can't even get it, so you're going to have to go through the main office.
The
You're gonna
FOIA?
call them and try to.
Where's the main office at? Do you know? I can...
Probably would assume in Albuquerque. I mean, that's just an assumption. I'm not aware of any phones that are office here. That would be your best bet if you want to get a copy of this. I don't know how it goes for you since you're not a law enforcement entity, but for us, we have to request it to them, and then they email it to us, or they tell us that we have to pick it up and sign it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a FOIA. I pulled that part up. Anybody can pull up a FOIA for public. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your guys' knowledge. That's huge. So,
Thank you for
You have a better
listening.
day.
also, thank you.
So, since you are alleging a battery, the report will have the main crime of battery. But as of right now, we can't charge. Okay, because this officer right here, he can't just take your word for granted that this battery did occur. So we do have to wait on the surveillance and basically the request be granted for us to speak to that employee just because the incident did happen on the phone.
Okay.
Alright?
Yeah. And my daughter witnessed it.
You want to get the daughter's information?
It's up to her daughter's information.
Let me get that. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay if I hand your ID over?
Yes. You're always allowed to, Mom.
All right, I'll go get that for you. If I get it, I'll send it to you. Is that okay? Is that
Yeah, I mean,
okay?
if they gave it to you, it's yours.
Okay.
And it's kind of like if for our BWC camera and you give it to somebody else, there's nothing wrong with that.
So they're refusing to give it to you guys?
They can't. They don't store it.
Oh, okay, they can't. That's
We have
why.
to go to the postal inspectors, which we did speak to one of the inspectors.
Okay.
Um,
Is that a postmaster?
no, it was just one of the postal inspectors. Basically, they're cops for the postal service, and then they have to basically send it off to the ambulance.
Okay. And are they knowledgeable now that it's okay to record in that area?
So we did speak with her about that because they have their own policy. So they may just be going off of their policy that since they can't record because they have access to basically everybody's personal information in there.
Right. But that would be other employees, right? Not
Yeah,
couples.
so they may just have that ingrained that there's no filming in general. And we did speak with basically the head honcho here.
So they don't know about that.
So they're just
Okay.
going by their policy and what they know.
All right.
Okay.
So they're gonna be.
But we did tell them, like, hey, if you guys don't want customers recording in here, you have to have some sort of signage.
Right.
The postal inspector did say
It's not allowed.
that you guys are allowed to film in there as long as it's not impeding their work. So, or if like
I wasn't. They were impeding their own work. But
so,
yeah.
like say if like you go in there and you just stand in the corner and you're just filming, there's nothing nobody can do. But if,
Yeah.
like if you go up to like the cashier that's helping somebody and you put your phone around
Right.
it, then there's an issue.
Right.
Okay.
But it was my own situation, my own personal.
So I mean they're just operating off of what they know.
Mhm.
Just kind of like how like we operate sometimes on the spot, like what we know.
Right.
So that's how they're operating. We did speak to her about that.
Which the guy at the front desk at the police station, he doesn't know about that, and he was like, "You better know that you know, because you know everything on it, because that could be a good spot." And I'm like, so he doesn't know, heads up for sharing
Yeah, I'll speak
knowledge,
I'll speak with Officer Smith
So-
about that.
because any more interactions, I'm going to come there for you. So, Thank you so much. I will get that to you.
Send me those videos too.
All right. Keep me informed. That's great. Thank you.
He's going to be the case officer.
Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Just don't shake a cop's hands when he has his glove on.
Oh, yeah, exactly. or something else in their hand. Sanitizer. Okay. All right. Yeah, when they have their gloves on, they're ready to attack. Well, and they touch other people with them. Gross. They touch yucky people with them. So that concludes that. They don't have the recording stuff here, so I'm going to have to go to the main post office to get a FOIA, and request that information. And I'll be sending it to the officers. They don't I don't know, the officers explain to them about recording in that area. I still encourage people, if there's any, can't remember what the people that like to record, to uphold our constitutional rights.
No speak orders.
Auditors,
Yes.
Rio Rancho Post Office. Let's see what happens. Let's see what other officers what they know, because one of the officers here doesn't know. So I informed this officer. Hopefully they spread the word. You know, learning is knowledge, people. Learn every day if you can. You know. All right. Anything else, Edwin? We'll keep everybody. We'll record as we go. I don't know if we can record the videos on these things until it's cleared with the court, or if it even goes with the court, because they want to see it on video. They can't go by our word. They're going to talk to the lady that checked us out, and it shouldn't just be the lady who checked us out, it should be the other lady too, because how is that not harassment?
I would like to add a little something. I forgot to tell the cops about that.
What?
So when we were recording the two ladies, the one that came to help looked at the cashier like, oh no, we're caught.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what to do. Well, their people should be informed. You know, you hang up poster 7. Oh, and the officers were saying, well, maybe they have their own personal rules. Well, when you're with the government entity and the police stations, what else is there? DMV, you have a thing of rules you have to go by. You can't have your own personal rules. And they can post something up, but if it's not a law, doesn't mean you have to go by it. I can hold a sign up and say, don't wear red, it's rude. Or, you know, that's an insult. Does that mean people can't wear red shirts? Oh, there used to be signs keeping black people from certain areas. All right, are we going to enforce those signs? Whites only? Well, now everybody has people of color. Everybody has color, you know? Even pale people have a certain type of color, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. But, yeah, you know, just because someone has a sign, it has to be backed up by the law. And we have to make sure it doesn't precede the Constitution. So, yeah, we'll keep you up to date as we go. Thank you. Have a good day. Keep your peace.
Bye-bye, everyone.